The power of silence in Buddhism. Have you ever noticed how much energy we waste on unnecessary words? In our modern world, we are constantly encouraged to speak, to express, and to share. But what if true wisdom lies not in what we say, but in what we choose to keep silent about? The great Buddha once said, "Speak only the speech that neither torments self nor does harm to others. That speech is truly well spoken." This profound teaching reminds us that our words have power. They can either bring peace and clarity or disturbance and attachment. Every unnecessary conversation we engage in, whether it's boasting about achievements, discussing unfulfilled dreams, or dwelling on past resentments, can pull us away from inner peace. In this video, we will explore 11 essential lessons from Buddhism on what not to discuss if you want to cultivate mindfulness, wisdom, and inner tranquility. These lessons are not about suppressing your voice, but about choosing your words with intention, creating a space where your mind remains clear and your spirit unburdened. By understanding what to let go of in speech, you will learn how to navigate life with more grace, clarity, and inner strength. So, if you're ready to embrace the power of mindful silence and walk the path of wisdom, let's begin. Lesson 1. Don't talk about your achievements. The Buddha emphasized humility as a cornerstone of the spiritual path. Speaking about your accomplishments can create attachment to the ego, feeding pride and arrogance. When we boast about our successes, we often seek validation or recognition from others. This attachment to external approval can distract us from inner peace and the understanding that all achievements are temporary. Why should we avoid discussing our achievements? 1. It strengthens the ego. The more we focus on personal victories, the more we create a sense of superiority, which leads to comparison and attachment. 2. It fosters jealousy and competition. Even unintentionally, boasting can make others feel inadequate. 3. It creates dependence on external validation. True confidence comes from within, not from others' recognition. Buddhism teaches non-attachment to personal identity. Instead of speaking about our achievements, we should let our actions speak for themselves. When we perform acts of kindness or experience success, we should enjoy the moment without clinging to it or needing to announce it. The Buddha reminds us, better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. The practice of modesty and humility keeps us grounded. When we detach from achievements, we cultivate true wisdom and self-awareness. Lesson 2. Don't talk about challenges you haven't overcome. Many people share their struggles before they have fully understood or processed them. This can lead to self-doubt, frustration, and unnecessary suffering. Why should we avoid discussing unresolved challenges? 1. It reinforces negativity. When we constantly talk about our struggles, we relive them, reinforcing fear and anxiety. 2. It invites opinions that may not be helpful. Others may give advice based on their own perspectives, which may not align with your journey. 3. It prevents inner reflection. Instead of processing challenges internally, we seek external validation, delaying true growth. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inevitable part of life, dukkha, but how we handle it defines our spiritual progress. What should we do instead? Practice mindfulness. Observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Embrace silence. Allow yourself time to process your struggles before sharing them. Seek wisdom from within. Meditation and introspection often bring clarity more than external conversations. The key is to share struggles only when they have been transformed into wisdom. The Buddha encourages us to embrace difficulties as learning opportunities rather than something to be feared or overly discussed. Lesson 3. Don't talk about your good deeds. Buddhism places great importance on selfless giving, dana, and compassionate actions. However, the moment we speak about our good deeds, we risk falling into the trap of ego and attachment. Why should we avoid talking about our good deeds? 1. It diminishes the purity of giving. True generosity comes from a place of selflessness, not a desire for recognition. 2. It fosters attachment to praise. Seeking validation contradicts the principle of letting go of ego. 3. It shifts focus from self-growth to external approval. Instead of performing actions for inner peace, we do them for acknowledgement. How to practice selfless giving? Give anonymously whenever possible. Focus on the act, not the reward. The true reward is the inner joy of helping others. Reflect on the impermanence of praise. Recognition fades, but true virtue is cultivated within. The Buddha said, "Even as a solid rock is unshaken by the wind, so are the wise unshaken by praise or blame." By keeping our good deeds private, we purify our intentions and develop a heart free from attachment. Lesson 4. Don't talk about your resentments. Resentment is a heavy emotional burden that prevents us from experiencing true peace. When we discuss our resentment repeatedly, we reinforce it, making it stronger. Why should we avoid talking about resentment? 1. It keeps negativity alive. The more we talk about it, the more power it holds over us. 2. It strengthens the habit of blaming others. Buddhism teaches that all suffering originates from within, not external sources. 3. It delays healing. True healing happens when we let go, not when we keep revisiting past wounds. The Buddha compared holding on to resentment to grasping a burning coal with the intent of throwing it at someone. You are the one who gets burned. How to let go of resentment? Practice forgiveness, not for others, but for your own peace. Meditate on compassion. Imagine the person who hurt you as someone suffering in their own way. Accept impermanence. No situation, pain, or resentment is permanent. Releasing resentment is a gift to yourself, not to others. Lesson 5. Don't talk about your deepest dreams. Your dreams and aspirations are sacred seeds that need careful nurturing. Speaking about them too soon can expose them to doubt, negativity, and discouragement. Why should we keep our deepest dreams private? 1. Others may not understand or support them. Not everyone will see your vision as you do. 2. It protects your inner motivation. External opinions can weaken your determination. 3. It prevents attachment to expectations. Keeping your dreams personal allows you to adapt and evolve naturally. What should you do instead? Work on your dreams in silence. Let your progress, not your words, show your dedication. Trust your intuition. Your dreams are personal and need no external validation. Share only when necessary. If discussing your goals, do so with those who genuinely support you. By keeping your deepest dreams private, you protect their purity and allow them to flourish naturally. Lesson 6. Don't talk about your next steps. Buddhism teaches non-attachment to outcomes and the importance of living in the present moment. Speaking too much about your future plans can create expectations and anxiety. Why should we avoid discussing our next steps? 1. Plans can change. Life is unpredictable. Attachment to a plan can create disappointment. 2. It reduces external pressure. When we announce plans, we feel obligated to achieve them, sometimes at the cost of wisdom. 3. It strengthens mindfulness. Focusing on what you are doing now brings better results. The best way forward is to act without attachment and allow things to unfold naturally. Lesson 7. Don't talk about your doubts and uncertainties. Doubts and uncertainties are a natural part of life, especially when walking the spiritual path. However, constantly discussing them can reinforce negative thinking and confusion. making them harder to overcome. Why should we avoid discussing doubts openly? 1. It strengthens uncertainty. The more you talk about your doubts, the more real they feel, even if they have no basis in reality. 2. It invites unnecessary external opinions. Seeking advice from multiple people can lead to conflicting perspectives, which may confuse you further. 3. It prevents deep self-reflection. True clarity comes from within, not from external validation. Buddhism teaches that doubts should be examined with mindfulness and self-awareness rather than shared impulsively. How to overcome doubts in silence. Practice self-inquiry. Instead of talking about your doubts, write them down and explore their origins. Ask yourself, is this doubt based on reality or just fear? Meditate on impermanence. Remember that all thoughts and emotions, including doubt, are temporary. Seek wisdom from reliable sources. Instead of discussing doubts with many people, study Buddhist texts, listen to wise teachers, or meditate for guidance. The Buddha taught that doubts are natural, but should be approached with a calm and open mind. Over time, through meditation and mindful self-reflection, doubt dissolves and clarity emerges. Lesson 8. Don't talk about others. Avoid gossip and judgment. Gossip and unnecessary discussions about other people's lives are distractions that lead to negativity, division, and suffering. The Buddha taught, if you propose to speak, always ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Why should we avoid talking about others? 1. It creates negative karma. Speaking ill of others leads to harmful consequences, both for yourself and those involved. 2. It pollutes your mind with negativity. Gossiping feeds a habit of focusing on the faults of others rather than improving oneself. 3. It disturbs inner peace. The more you judge others, the more restless and dissatisfied you become. Buddhism encourages compassion, loving kindness, and mindfulness in speech. How to practice mindful speech. Pause before speaking. Ask yourself, is this information helpful? Does it serve a purpose? Redirect conversations. If gossip arises, gently shift the topic to something positive or meaningful. Practice loving kindness, metta. Develop the habit of seeing the good in others rather than focusing on their faults. By avoiding unnecessary discussions about others, you create space for inner peace and harmony in relationships. Lesson 9. Don't talk about your moments of solitude. Solitude is a sacred space for inner growth, self-reflection, and mindfulness. Discussing it excessively can dilute its impact and invite unnecessary opinions. Why should we protect our moments of solitude? 1. It maintains their purity. Deep moments of reflection and insight are best experienced rather than explained. 2. It prevents ego attachment. Talking about solitude can turn it into something we seek validation for, rather than something we genuinely embrace. 3. It strengthens spiritual growth. Keeping solitude private allows deeper self-discovery without external distractions. The Buddha often retreated into solitude to gain wisdom and clarity. By keeping your moments of silence sacred, you honor your spiritual journey. How to make the most of solitude. Use solitude for meditation. Instead of talking about it, experience its benefits through stillness and presence. Reflect on your emotions. Let solitude be a space for self-exploration, not external discussion. Appreciate the power of silence. In silence, we can hear the wisdom within. Your solitude is your sanctuary. Protect it and let its wisdom guide you. Lesson 10. Don't talk about unlearned lessons. Wisdom is not just about knowledge, but about experience. Discussing lessons you have not yet fully learned can lead to misunderstanding and premature conclusions. Why should we avoid talking about lessons we haven't mastered? 1. It can spread misinformation. If you share wisdom that you haven't fully grasped, it may be incomplete or misleading. 2. It weakens the learning process. Speaking too soon can create a false sense of mastery, stopping deeper exploration. 3. It invites unnecessary opinions. People may challenge or misinterpret your learning, making you second-guess yourself. Buddhism teaches that true wisdom comes from lived experience, not just intellectual understanding. What to do instead? Apply the lesson first. Before discussing a concept, practice it in daily life. Observe your transformation. Notice how the lesson changes your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Share only when ready. When you have embodied the wisdom, your actions will naturally reflect it. The Buddha said, "Wisdom is not merely words, it is a practice. By internalizing knowledge before sharing it, you ensure it is genuine and transformative." Lesson 11. Don't talk about your deepest plans. Your dreams and goals are sacred. Speaking about them too early can invite doubt, negativity, and resistance, weakening your motivation. Why should we keep our deepest plans private? 1. It protects your motivation. External opinions can create self-doubt and hesitation. 2. It prevents unnecessary attachment. When we talk too much about plans, we become attached to outcomes, leading to anxiety. 3. It allows flexibility. Keeping your goals private lets you adjust and evolve without pressure. Many people seek validation by sharing their plans, but Buddhism teaches detachment from expectations. The moment we discuss our goals too much, we risk becoming attached to external approval rather than focusing on the actual process. How to protect your plans? Work quietly. Let progress, not words, show your dedication. Share only with trusted mentors. If seeking advice, choose people who genuinely support your growth. Let your success speak for itself. When your vision becomes reality, it will naturally be recognized. The Buddha taught, "Do not speak unless it improves upon the silence." By keeping your deepest plans private, you preserve their power and focus on real progress rather than external expectations. The power of silence and mindful speech in Buddhism. The teachings of the Buddha remind us that silence is not emptiness. It is a space where wisdom, peace, and self-awareness flourish. Each lesson in this script guides us toward a more mindful way of speaking and living, allowing us to cultivate inner peace, humility, and emotional resilience. By avoiding discussions about our achievements, challenges, good deeds, resentment, deepest dreams, next steps, doubts, others, solitude, unlearned lessons, and future plans, we protect our energy, focus, and inner growth. This is not about suppressing our voice, but about choosing our words with intention. The more we align our speech with wisdom and compassion, the more we create a life filled with peace, harmony, and spiritual depth. The Buddha taught, "Speak only the speech that neither torments self nor does harm to others. That speech is truly well spoken." If we practice mindful speech, avoid gossip, and refrain from unnecessary discussions, we gain greater self-mastery, inner clarity, and a deep connection to the present moment. Let your actions speak louder than words. Keep your wisdom sacred and let it grow within. Embrace the silence where true transformation happens. As we walk this path of mindfulness, let us speak with kindness, listen with compassion, and cherish the wisdom that comes from within. If these lessons resonate with you, like, share, and subscribe to spread this wisdom to others on their journey toward peace and self-discovery.